Thanks for watching today's Drawing for Adults class. This class is offered as a partnership between the Ann Arbor District Library and the Ann Arbor Art Center, both located downtown Ann Arbor, Michigan. Today we're going to be drawing these glowing landscapes with acrylic paints. So if you have acrylic paints, you can go ahead and get those out. And follow along with me. Feel free to pause the video at any point. So you can see I have already started laying in some warm colors here in the sky. So I've got a dark red at the top to an orange to a yellow, and I'm added a little bit of white there towards the bottom. So I would just want to really create that nice fade, make sure that my paint is wet. As I'm doing this, I don't want my paint to dry, otherwise the colors are not gonna blend. As you can see though, I do have kind of some streaky colors. It's not so soft and blended. I'm using kind of a rough looking brush here. Now it's really light that affects the colors that we see moving forward. So as we are putting in these mountains, we're actually going to be painting them a slightly different color than we normally would think. So you can see here that I have included these grayer tones in the background, and then a little bit more of a mid-tone, and then a darker value in the front, so it's a little bit darker there. And now I'm just going to go ahead with my white and a little bit of yellow. I am going to make some brush strokes coming out from the lightest part there in the sky that are kind of angled, kind of going around in like a little curve here. And so I have picked my white with my yellow, and I've also watered it down a little bit. Okay, now if you have glazing medium, you can also use that, but you have to do this process very, very quickly. I recommend practicing it even before you do it on your final painting, because it does dry very, very fast. So you're just gonna keep those little streaks. You can see I darkened up the sky a little bit there to make it even more dramatic here, but those streaks, and you can let it be streaky or you can smooth it out more depending on what you want. I'm gonna do this one more time with another painting here. So this is a very different kind of scene. So this one's gonna be a little bit more detailed, though both of them are fairly simple, minimalist kinds of scenes. So I'm gonna start with the sky here again, and I have left the top center area pretty white, and then I'm putting some light yellow, like a lemon yellow kind of color, cadmium yellow light, some kind of version of yellow around that. And then I've mixed in a little bit of like a yellow ochre with maybe a little bit of green around it to start building up these trees. So again, it's light that affects the color. So the light is blocking us from really being able to see the true green of those trees back there. So instead of seeing green, we're kind of seeing a yellow-green combination, right? It's not super clear to us what color that is because of the way that light is shining in. So the light is shining so brightly that it's truly just blocking us and preventing us from being able to really see what's there. You know, if you've ever had to do that and kind of squinted your eyes in the distance because you're trying to make out what it is, because the light is just kind of, I don't know, yeah, blocking, I guess, the scene. So now I have created some grass here on the ground, and towards this bottom, especially the bottom right corner, it's kind of a slanted angle here. It's more of a deeper green, and then I have it going lighter towards those trees that are in the background. So that helps me get that sense of atmospheric perspective, which is really important, especially when light is so prominent in this piece. So we have this nice dark deep green in the foreground, kind of a brownish yellow ochre green in the midground, and then a light sagey kind of green towards the background there. And then you can see I am just adding in some lines for some grasses, just for some texture. Notice once again, because of that perspective, I'm putting larger blades of grasses here in the foreground and then smaller blades of grasses back there in the background. So I did lighten up the sky a little bit with a little bit more of that titanium white plus a little bit of water so that all of those colors still do show through. And I'm using that same slightly watered down white to lightly, with a fairly dry brush here, just kind of dot over my painting. And so that way it's keeping it pretty light and faint for some of these little whitish flowers. And so that way I can go back with more paint. And of course this is all digital, right? So you're gonna have to have more drying time, whereas I'm doing all of this at once. So be patient with the process. But those areas that are more transparent and thin, I can go back on top of those with more thicker white paint, so you can see the way I'm doing that even digitally. And I'm also adding in some pinks as well. So you can add in whatever colors you want, but either way, if you need to keep pushing that glowing light, then keep doing that watered down white with maybe even a little bit of yellow, just as we did before with the mountain landscape, and that will give you that sense of light. Okay, and then again, it's also making it where it's preventing us from being able to see the detail, and in addition to us not being able to see the true color of those trees back there and the flowers and everything, we're also not able to see much detail. Okay, so that means that these flowers that I'm adding more detail here in the foreground, those are not going to be very detailed for the ones in the background. So you can decide what level of detail that you want to go. I'm going to keep these a little bit looser so you can see I'm kind of experimenting here and playing with some different line work and such. But again, just enjoy the process of painting. You know, a lot of painting is just experimenting and just letting yourself put paint on your canvas. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you will tune in with us next time.